diet for this week, femininity. No, we're going to talk about sleep. Why not? Just something completely left field, but something that we like to talk about on the channel to close everything off. How about that? Cool. Got it good since we're understood. Let's talk about melatonin, one of the more popular sleep aids that is out there on the market. Get it over the counter. Frankly, it's in just about every other sleep aid that's out there. So how do you use it? Okay, if you find yourself having a difficult time trying to fall asleep and you're adequately exercising, adequately filling your day up with the correct things, but you're still having a difficult time sleeping, I'd argue that maybe you should adjust your diet a little bit, or maybe adjust the times that you're out there exercising. But hypothetically speaking, if you're doing all of this stuff right and you think that you just need that one little pill and it's just going to change the world for you, well, that's kind of a terrible idea for yourself, and you're just kind of setting yourself up for long-term failure. But let's go ahead and let's just indulge with this for a situation. So melatonin overuse has become a very common phenomenon in the United States, yet people relying on pills instead of their own responsibility, their own actions to take care of the problems in their life. Who would have possibly thought that would have happened? Anyways, in recent interviews with the Journal of American Medical Association, Judith Owens, director of the Center of Pediatric Sleep Disorders at Boston Children's Hospital. Oh, that was the same place that, what's her name? Libs of TikTok exposed for doing a bunch of gender transition surgeries. Interesting. Said an increasing number of children are taking melatonin. Yeah, that ain't good. But again, this is Boston Children's Hospital. They're very well aware of what children are taking and what they're prescribing and what they're wanting to do with them. Anyways, some pediatricians recommend melatonin to parents. Yeah, and some of them also push SSRIs. Interesting. Who give their children melatonin to attempt to solve their sleep problems. Or, I don't know. How about letting kids play and maybe take a look at the other drugs that you have them on? I'm just saying, before you want to hop and put another pill into their repertoire. According to Dr. Owens, melatonin is not a panacea for the problems, and many of these children eventually end up in a sleep clinic. Yeah, because it kind of disrupts stuff that's going on in your brain. Long story short, in 2020, 933 American parents participated in an online survey that showed that 38% of their children had sleeping difficulties. Well, okay, what are the activity patterns? What are these kids doing throughout the day? But I digress. Among these children, 44% were given melatonin products by their parents. Great, wonderful, fantastic. Don't deal with your kids. Just find something to sedate them. Just go to bed or something like that. One of Mommy's friends is coming over. No, not Lamar, Daquan. Daquan's coming over here. Anyways, the use of melatonin has been growing rapidly, not only among children, but also among American adults. There have been a 5-fold increase in over the past 2 decades. Holy! For 0.4% in 99-2000 period to 2.1% in 17 to 18 period, according to data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. Nahanis. Its whirlwind rise is also in evidence by the rapid increase in sales of melatonin products, an estimated $339 million in 2017 and $825 million in 2020 and $1.26 billion in 2021. That's quite a steep curve. Wish I would have got in on the ground floor on that one. Anyways, in the United States, melatonin is an over-the-counter health supplement that people can purchase without a prescription, and Americans are taking ever-increasing doses of melatonin. 2005, 2006, no respondents reported taking a daily melatonin dose of more than 5 milligrams, which is tens to hundreds of the time the normal amount secreted in the human body each night. Even insomnia patients don't need to take that much. But, however, 2018, 1 in 8 respondents took more than 5 milligrams daily. You're taking something that your brain naturally secretes, okay? You're going how many times more than what your body needs? Tens to hundreds of times more than that. Okay, cool. And you don't think that could be long-term consequences for long-term use. Interesting. Some even come in the form of a single 10 milligram dose. Yeah, no, exactly. Extra strength, right? Nothing. What could possibly go wrong? Melatonin, naturally secreted in the human body, helps improve sleep. Yeah, no, exactly. Melatonin is a hormone mainly secreted by the pineal gland. when it was first discovered. The substance named melatonin due to its ability to alter the melanin pigment of tadpoles, okay, making them almost transparent. Oh, okay, cool. It gets rid of the melanin. Interesting. Yeah, no, that would be a main channel joke. Oh, one of the roles played by melatonin, tried to continue on with the joke in humans is to encourage sleep. That's why they're so lazy. At night, melatonin conveys the message to the brain and body that it's bedtime. This is accompanied by drowsiness and drops in body temperature, pulse rate, and blood pressure. Melatonin synthesis and secretion is inhibited by lights. Therefore, it is also known as a hormone of darkness. These jokes, man, they just write themselves. Melatonin levels in humans vary as the sun rises and sets. Secretion of melatonin increases after nightfall, reaches a peak between 2 and 4 a.m., and gradually decreases during the second half of the night. But what if, hear me out here for a second, if you artificially inflate those numbers by taking over-the-counter medicine every night before you go to bed? What could that possibly do for your head, okay? Nearly 80% of melatonin is synthesized at night, with serum concentrations reaching 80 to 100 picograms per milliliter. Thank you for that translation. Well, only 10 to 20 picograms per milliliter is produced during daylight hours. Quite a difference that you have there, about 6 times different. Melatonin secretion is affected not only by the changes in the light, but also by age. Melatonin levels are high in childhood. So why are people putting their kids on melatonin? Oh, because they're terrible parents, I understand. With an average drop of 10 to 15% per decade. By old age, plasma melatonin concentrations have usually dropped to very low levels. Melatonin naturally secreted by the human body can regulate circadian rhythm, promote sleep, affect human blood pressure and autonomic cardiovascular regulation, enhance immunity, reduce inflammation, resist oxidation, inhibit tumor growth, and protect the brain and nerves. Holy! In addition, melatonin has effects on energy expenditure, body weight, and bone mass. Melatonin also regulates gonadotropin, okay, releasing hormone, GnRH, which affects reproduction and sexual maturity. So why are you messing around with this stuff with kids, you weirdos? I know why Boston Children's Hospital is recommending it. Okay, oral melatonin can improve the symptoms of some conditions, including insomnia, jet lag, shift work, sleep disorders, and neurodegenerative disorders. Melatonin can also be used in clinical research on diseases, including cancer, metabolic disorders, cardiovascular disorders, gastrointestinal conditions, neurodegenerative disorders, pain syndromes, and reproductive dysfunctions. Although firm conclusions are not yet established, it can work on all of these things. We just don't know if they'll actually work or not. Common side effects and potential long-term risks. Let's get into that. Melatonin overdose. Sorry, what? Can potentially bring serious health problems, especially long-term side effects on which there haven't yet been definitive studies. Number 1, the effects on endocrine and reproductive functions. Ooh, that could suck. Melatonin can affect neuroendocrine function and cause an increase or decrease in plasma growth hormone concentrations. Long-term administration of excessive levels of melatonin will likely have a negative influence on the body's growth and development. Furthermore, taking melatonin may be detrimental to gonadal development. Abnormally elevated melatonin plasma concentrations can lead to amenorrhea, okay, and abnormal absence of menstruation. Okay, good. I have no idea what that is. Doesn't affect me. And ovulation suppression in women. Why be redundant there? And decreased semen quality in men. That one affects me. I'm concerned about that. You don't need your little swimmers bumping into each other like a bunch of, short bus passengers. The very limited human experimental data available, there is no clear conclusion regarding whether melatonin delays puberty. But it seems like it really affects it. Anyways, association with diabetes and insulin resistance. Some studies have shown that taking melatonin contributes to impaired glucose tolerance and inhibits insulin secretion. However, This association hasn't been shown in other studies. Interesting. Exacerbating autoimmune diseases and elevating blood pressure. That's not good. There are cases of insomnia patients developing autoimmune hepatitis after being treated with melatonin. That doesn't sound good. It sounds like it's affecting your kidneys as well. Some children experience mild hypothermia. Sorry, what? After melatonin administration, for instance, the pediatric patient's body temperature dropped to 34 degrees Celsius half an hour after administration of a 3 milligram dose of melatonin, and hypothermia continued for 2 days. What the? Anyways, how to properly go about this? Okay, that would be you've already sufficiently scared everybody. How about that? Some simple ways to help elevate natural melatonin levels in the body. Yeah, so we should be more concerned about taking personal responsibility for your own sleep habits and trying to rectify them through those means instead of just hoping and wishing that there's going to be a pill there to solve all your problems. Ensure regular sleep and diet and avoid caffeine and nicotine, especially before bed. Avoid watching TV and using computers, smartphones, or other electronic devices before bedtime because their blue light suppresses melatonin secretion. And number 3, expose yourself to the sun in the morning and work out at night to overcome jet lag. Yeah, imagine that. Make yourself tired. Not too close before bed. Give yourself a couple of hours. Maybe if you want to do any exercise right before bed, stretch out a little bit. Something that can raise your heart rate a little bit, but enough so that it'll just slowly go back to its resting normal level. Just a little bit more here. A 2017 study conducted tests on 31 melatonin products on the market and found that melatonin content of the products ranged from 83% to a negative 83%, to a positive 478% of the labeled content. Yeah, it's not exactly regulated all that well. Among them, nearly 1/3 of the products contain serotonin, which should be strictly controlled. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, second, pay attention to the dosage and timing of melatonin administration. Oral melatonin supplementation are available in immediate release formulations and slow release formulations. Immediate release formulations are usually taken 45 minutes to an hour before bedtime to reach maximal melatonin levels by bedtime. Slow release formulations, gradual release melatonin to the body by night. Administration slow release should be followed by supplementation instructions, few hours to take effect. It is advisable to take the entire tablet instead of crushing and or chewing it. So, know the supplement you're going to be taking if that's the route that you want to go. Know how to administer it, okay? Don't be taking the short term and the long term, the long term and the short term. That could have detrimental effects as well. Other than that, I don't know, maybe just fix your diet and go to sleep properly. How about that? Get sufficiently tired before bed and stop pushing pills on your damn kids, okay? If you need to hear that from me, at least you're hearing it from somebody. How about that? So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.